At the time of the first International AIDS Conference, HIV was a death sentence. Treatment was not widely available in the developed world, let alone in the poorer regions. Stigma kept HIV-positive people from talking openly about their condition and kept vulnerable people from having the courage to step into a clinic and ask for a test. But thanks to the work of leaders in the fight against HIV, people like Nelson Mandela, Sir Elton John, Dr. Peter Piot, the brave activists of TAG and ACT UP, and like my mother, Princess Diana, we have made huge progress. When my mother held the hand of a man dying of AIDS in an East London hospital, no one would have imagined that just over a quarter of a century later, treatment would exist that could see HIV-positive people live full, healthy, loving lives. But we now face a new risk, the risk of complacency. As people with HIV live longer, AIDS is a topic that has drifted from the headlines. And with that drift of attention, we risk a real drift of funding and of action to beat the virus. We cannot lose a sense of urgency, because despite all the progress we have made, HIV remains among the most pressing and urgent of global challenges. 1.1 million people died of AIDS, and 2.1 million were infected last year alone. HIV remains the #1 cause of death amongst adolescents in sub-Saharan Africa. In my own country, infection rates are still rising amongst important groups despite the availability of instant testing and universal access to treatment. It is time for us to step up to make sure that girls and boys with HIV aren't kept from playing with their friends, classmates, and neighbors. It is time for us to step up and acknowledge that stigma and discrimination still act as the greatest barrier to us defeating this disease once and for all. What I believe is that we cannot beat HIV without giving young people in every country the voice that they deserve. Without education and without empowerment, HIV will win. But just imagine what would happen if in places like Lesotho and throughout Africa, children were given the tools to protect their health, to speak out against stigma and discrimination, and to support their friends and family. In helping young people to fight HIV, we would not just be ending this epidemic, we would change the direction of history for an entire generation. Thank you.